If gray skies have you feeling the blues, you are not alone. The winter doldrums are very real. In fact, mental health professionals have termed the syndrome seasonal affective disorder, also known as SAD appropriately. And Dr. Lori Eanes, or I like to call Dr. Lori, is a health and wellness consultant and joins us with tips to manage winter stress. Good morning.
Well, good to be here and good to see you again.
It's great to see you again. We first met working out together at Zumba.
Doing some Zumba.
Right? And you know, I understand that obviously the winter blues really affect 4 women for every 1 man. So why is that?
Well, what we know about seasonal sadness is that it is a mood disorder. And we don't really know why women are more affected, but we do know that it has to do with our exposure to sunlight and daylight. The interesting thing is we also know that most often people under the age of 35 are affected.
Really? Why is that?
Well, we don't really know why that is.
That's interesting, because you wouldn't think, you really wouldn't, you know, you think younger, maybe a little more vibrant, maybe not so sad, you know.
But it actually is in a younger population as opposed to an older.
That's really interesting. And you know what I also was going to ask you, because, you know, in all the other places in this country, I could see us having a lot less daylight, a lot less sunshine this time of year. In New Mexico, we do see a lot more sun than the average state does in the winter. Isn't that true?
Well, but it's still winter, and our daylight is less.
True.
And that's how our bodies, what we call our circadian rhythms, that's how they respond to the daylight. And so when the sun goes down, we get tired, we get fatigued, we get sleepy.
Yeah, it is hard to stay motivated. I mean, what are some of the other effects that you see for them? I know you said sleepy and tired. What are some other ones that you see when it comes to the winter blues?
Well, it's really a decrease in your energy level, a lack of interest in doing things. It's also a lack of focus and concentration. The interesting thing about seasonal sadness, as I like to call it, is that it can show itself in both anxiety and depression.
Oh, wow.
So we usually think it's something that we're always just depressed with, but it actually shows itself in both anxiety and depression, and that leads to a sense of stress for all of us during this time of year.
And stress makes it very difficult to keep those resolutions. It makes it difficult to be motivated to lose the weight and even to get the rest that we need. So what kind of stress management strategies would you recommend that we try?
Well, here's the first thing that I think we all need to do. We all need to manage what consumes our time and our energy.
It is so much easier said than done, Dr. Lori.
Yes. So whether that applies to our work, our family, our social commitments, we have to at least set boundaries on what we're willing to do. Because what I find is that when we don't take care of our own needs, we actually end up giving less to the things that are most important to us.
That's actually a really good point. And you know what, I wanted to ask you this, because we do also hear a lot about the endorphins. And that's something that's thrown around as a term, but what are they exactly? Explain that to the viewers and how they can energize us.
Well, so our endorphins are chemicals that the body produces that actually act as our natural painkillers and stress reducers. So as we all know, exercise reduces stress, but it also increases our endorphins. So despite the colder temperatures at this time of year, bundle up midday and go for a 20 to 30-minute walk.
Really? That you think, and that really does help,
And so that's going to be helpful. The other thing that I suggest is that each day we do something that we enjoy.
Good idea.
I like to call it, you know, find things that you can play with that you love, whether it's hobbies, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether it's dance, and of course whether it's the people you love in your life.
That's great. And you know, I think a lot of people are very concerned because they have busy lives, they have parenting and they have jobs. And so they just have to find that moment in their day, whether it be before bed or when they wake up, sometime.
You absolutely must, because we all have things that we have to do. But we should find time to do things that we want to do.
I like that.
And I think when we do that, we increase our endorphins, we increase our sense of enjoyment, we increase our sense of pleasure in life.
So, okay, then what would you say in conjunction with that would be the easiest thing that we can do to relieve stress?
Well, I think one of the easiest things, lastly and most importantly, is breathe.
That is hard to do sometimes when you really think about it, huh?
Well, you know, when we are stressed, we constrict our oxygen levels, and so our vital organs need that.
So true.
And so when we breathe deeply, we are able to reset our nervous system so that we produce a sense of calm. So I love a breathing technique that I do. It's breathe in for 8, hold for 4, breathe out for 12. So you want to exhale all of the stress that you've been holding in. You want to try it?
Yeah, I'm going to try it on the commercial break with
Okay,
you.
well, that's what we'll do.
Right now, I'm just waiting to exhale, as the great Whitney Houston might
Well,
have
that's
said.
what we'll do.
Thank you so much
so
for
as
being
you're
here.
exhaling, have a stress-free day.
I love it.
All
Thank you
right.
so much. Happy New Year
Absolutely,
to you.
darling.